I only survived because she told me not to go to the family vacation that weekend. Every July, my family went to my grandfather's lake house where the rules were strict and the expectations were worse. No phones, no music, just long speeches about loyalty, legacy, and obedience. My cousin Mara was 17 the last time she went. She came back pale and jumpy, biting her nails and staring at the floor like she was scared of it. When I asked what happened, she grabbed my wrist and said, "Do not go. Pretend to be sick. Run if you can." I thought she was being dramatic. Until 2 nights before the trip, I heard my dad talking in his office. He said, "She's almost ready. Naive but obedient." Richard is thrilled. Says she looks just like her mother at 15. I felt sick. Richard was his business partner. Old, rich, and disgusting. He always looked at me too long at dinners. Once he touched my lower back when I was reaching for a spoon. I jumped at any touches after that. The next morning, I told my mom I felt sick. She gave me vitamins and told me blankly that family comes first. So I packed my bag in silence, tucked an old iPod into my shoe with the voice memo app recording, and hoped I was wrong. We got to the lake house and Mara wasn't there. Her parents said she needed space. That night at dinner, Richard sat across from me, smiling the whole time like he already owned me. He touched my hand when he passed the salt. I couldn't move. That night, I faked sleep. I heard my dad come in and say, "Tomorrow's the first step. She might resist, but she'll settle. Keep the pills small." When he left, I stared at the ceiling until my eyes dried out. I didn't sleep at all. At sunrise, I packed my stuff and slipped out the back. There was a ranger station I remembered from when I was younger, but it was miles away through thick woods. I started walking fast. My legs were shaking, but I kept going. About half a mile in, I heard a car behind me. It was my uncle. He pulled over and told me to get in because my dad was worried. I said I knew what they were doing, and he smiled like I was telling a joke. Then he reached for the door handle. I ran. He chased me through the woods, but I lost him by cutting through a dry creek bed. I found the old maintenance shed near the property line and broke the lock with a rock. Inside were ranger files, maps, and a radio, which I stuffed into my bag. Then I ran for the station. My legs burned and my lungs felt like they were going to burst, but I didn't stop. I reached the station and used the key. It was empty. I locked the door behind me and taped a folder to the desk. I filled it with copies of the maps and shed files, then wrote on the front, "For police only. Evidence of abuse. Please protect the girls." Then I crawled out the window, walked to the highway, and flagged down a truck. The driver dropped me at a gas station an hour away. I called child services from a payphone and gave them everything. I stayed in a shelter for 2 months, waiting for the nightmare to end. It wasn't a dramatic story. No news coverage. Just a slow process with lawyers and detectives and quiet arrests. Richard, my dad, and my uncle all got taken in. My mom testified for a deal. Mara spoke up too. So did 2 other cousins and an aunt. Turns out our family tradition was just a groomed cycle of girls handed off to old men for money and power. It had been going on for decades. But by surviving, I ended up losing everything. My school, my friends, my last name. But I got out. I live in another state now. I work at a clinic and use a different name. Mara's in therapy and writes poetry. We talk sometimes, usually late at night. To this day, I'm so thankful she warned me.